Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Abheek. How's everybody?
Hello.
Hey, hi
All's
everybody.
good.
Hey,
It's good.
been
Yep,
been
doing
a
well,
few weeks since
thanks.
we talked, Abheek. How are things going?
Not too bad, I guess. Going pretty fine. Thanks, Roy.
Good deal.
How's your puppy?
He's doing a little better, marginally. He's still got a long way to go.
Alright. Well, hopefully he recovers.
Yep, same here.
Yeah, best wishes, man. So,
Thank you.
so we've all kind of done a little bit of a storyline, journey line for how we got into IT, Abheek. You mind sharing with us what brought you to the IT world?
Yep, absolutely. So I basically started my career with again a tech support role. I got placed from my college in the fourth year of engineering. Started working for Dell International Services. I was there for a couple of years, 2.5 years. Um, that's when I got referred to a quote unquote IT organization by a friend of mine. Um, she just randomly said, "Hey, there's an opportunity. Are you interested?" And back in the day, you still used to get calls from recruiters if you get if you get referred. So yeah, thankfully had a discussion. They were looking for someone fresh with no prior experience. Um, got into that organization and got my hands at Linux. Learned a lot of things. It was basically a shared hosting company in US, and they were basically trying to expand their portfolio from one region to the other. So a lot of things that I learned there, but obviously I didn't plan anything. When I was in college, I had literally no plan. The best thing was that Dell came to our city and they, started to invest in a huge contact center. That was the first
Hmm.
organization, and this one, the second one, was again purely coincidence. So no plans, no certifications whatsoever. But yeah, from there it started.
Well, cool. That seems like a common thing. We all kind of just fell into to IT,
Yep,
Yeah.
different alternate paths.
Well, Levi
Um,
yep.
had a plan. The three of
yeah,
us didn't.
Well,
Levy
what
did
kind of
have a
plan did
plan.
I have?
Some sort of plan, I'm sure you had.
Yeah,
You
well,
like to play. You like to mess around with what was that Commodore
He had a
40,
Commodore
yeah,
60,
well,
64.
but
64? Yeah.
I wanted to be an architect, not IT professional, just user of IT. But that's how it turns out. So
And
what
now
can
we
you
Well,
have
do?
an architect
we
here.
have we have a Beak. A Beak's the architect now. He's filling that role.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Well, one thing I'd like to share was the first organization. I mean, Dell was really investing in India back then, Dell International Services. So the best thing that happened was there was a very exhaustive, technical training and a comm training, which lasted for 3 months or
Mm.
so, and a lot of interactions in that initial three months, which really sort of added a lot of value into the role that we were being hired for. Because it was pretty
Yeah.
daunting for me and others in the same age group, straight out of college, to talk to Americans and troubleshoot, desktops, all in ones, laptops and stuff. And we were like, man, how am I going to do it? But
Yeah.
yeah, the training helped. It was
That's
really
a
good.
that's a great point. That's a shout out I'll give to AT&T. When I started with AT&T, AT&T had the AT&T School of Business. So you had the soft skills and the business aspect of it that they were providing, and then they were heavily emphasizing the technical training. I took more training the first 2 years of my career with AT&T than I did the rest of it. Is very fantastic to have an employer that saw value in investing in people.
Yeah,
Do you think
agree.
that still exists anywhere?
Well, it didn't exist where we were together, so
Yeah, for
it,
sure.
it, it, it supposedly was there, but it was all, passive learning. They thought that passive learning was the only approach, and Not the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not an apple-to-apple comparison. I don't know, Judith.
I
Yeah.
think we got something like a month or 2 months of training when I joined the EDS for the help desk role.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
wasn't
exactly.
too much, and then they threw you in the deep water and just start picking up phones or calls and log them and troubleshoot them. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what am I troubleshooting?
So that was one of the biggest complaints I got from new hires is that, hey man, I don't know that I feel you've invested in me or you care that I'm here. You're just asking me to do these CBT courses, all this passive learning stuff, but I need to talk to somebody. The biggest complaint was I don't have a mentor or I don't
Yeah.
have a
Buddy.
classroom setting. Yeah, that was always a challenge. After
I don't know.
AT&T, AT&T was perfect. After AT&T, it was a challenge.
Nowadays, I think what's happening is that the guy leaves, and then they hire someone instead of that one person who knew the things, and
Yeah.
they expect the new guy to come with
Already has the skills.
knowledge
Yep.
Yeah.
and skills of the person who left. You know, it's like, oh, come on.
Correct.
It's not like you can put a chip in the head of the people leaving and then download everything.
Yeah.
I bet
That's what
they
they
wish they
expected.
could.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they expected me to do as well when I left the previous one.
Yeah,
Where we
I know.
used to
I
work
know.
together.
They were
And then I'm
looking
like,
for your chip at me.
no, I'm talking about the previous one.
Oh, that's
With 17 years being there, having the experience, the knowledge, the social circles as well, and networking and everything. How everything I know is because I know those people. So what do I do? And there was no backfill, right? So
yeah.
it's just not working. 17 years, you cannot just pass it on just like that, even if there would have been somebody to take it over in a month.
Yeah. True.
Excellent points. I have a comment that I'm going to have to withhold because somebody here still works for the place, but there was something missing when I was asked to leave the last place. Something glaringly missing, and it surprised me. Totally surprised me.
The reasons.
No, there was no request for any KT whatsoever. There were soft approaches to getting where do you have documents stored beforehand, but time of your services are no longer required. Nobody cared. They didn't want to know anything. It's like that's fine with me.
That was the same with me. So it may
Yeah,
be
it was the same with me.
corporate, but I mean, I maybe it's just because, but I was doing directly an account and only me doing it. So it's like, how come you don't need it? I mean, in your cases it was much higher level, right? So it wasn't a hands-on things that you accumulated.
Per se, yeah.
So it's much harder to document that. But in my case, it was like I'm in the middle of
Single
a
point of
change.
failure. Yeah, they
Yeah,
still went ahead with
I
it.
was actually in the middle of a change. It was like, and they said that, oh, okay, from just we will after the call we will revoke your access.
See, that makes no sense. Intellectual capital
Go
has
ahead.
become totally undervalued. You can find plenty of studies will tell you what the intellectual capital is actually worth and the cost of replacing somebody.
Yeah.
But when an organization just walks away from that intellectual capital, discards the human capital they had, and that's how they operate. Wow, I don't know how you're ever going to be successful if you don't value those things. So it's interesting.
But it was the same thing, Levi, remember, with the previous company where I've been for like 17 years. At the beginning, it was the same thing with the help desk people when the merge happened, right? Or merger happened. They were letting people go based on an Excel file. It was there what their skills are, what languages, special languages they are speaking, right? Because it wasn't just English and Hungarian or German, the big ones. Hungarian is not a big one, but the big ones. But there were people like speaking Greek for one customer who requires by contract Greek speaking specialists, right? And yet, somebody who was picking out the names from the Excel files, they didn't look at it and they let the person go. Just like that. The one person who spoke Greek in the company.
That's amazing. That
It's like, what?
that resonates though, Judith, because I was presented a list of like 68 names and said, "What about this team?" Like, you do realize that is a specific region. Who do you replace this 68 people with? That was one of the things from an Excel spreadsheet presented to me, and I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know why this came this way. Very interesting though. But
It is.
to let go, the only person that can communicate with your customer, that's amazing. Absolutely
And they went
amazing.
ahead, as far as I remember, they went ahead with it because it is what it is. We have to make it happen.
That's so bizarre. And that kind of ties back into the discussion last week where we were talking about the youth today, the younger
Oh, yeah.
generations, and how they would be lost in the wilderness if they didn't have all the aspects of their daily life today, if they didn't have their phone, if they didn't have a computer, the technologies they use. Same kind of a scenario, right? You just take away the conduit that keeps them connected, and where does it leave them?
But I think it's a multifaceted issue because first, I mean, I'm happy to sit down and talk to someone, for hours and hours, and come have a back and forth, and in the meantime, try to explain and show and hands-on and stuff like that. But I'm losing interest in doing that if I don't see on the other side the willingness to learn, or
Right.
if I see that it's an offense for that person, that they are unaware of something and they took it as an offense, which is just plainly stupid. How could you know everything? You're here
Mm-hmm.
to learn from me, so why do you take offense? So there's one thing that I'm losing interest in sharing my knowledge, in the most efficient way I know. And on the other hand, that they are losing the the ability to concentrate for an extended time on one topic, and try to absorb the knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah,
all
because,
those things we talked. Sorry, just one sec, Judith. All those
but
things
sorry.
that we talked about, that with the AI you have all the static knowledge at hand.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you know that? But you still need some of those things in your brain, in the cache, let's so to say, in the cache, so you can immediately grab it and use it. You don't have time to AI everything, you know, all the words in a sentence. You have to know the basics, and then you can use AI to have the whole thing. And sorry, Judith, go ahead, please.
No, I interrupted. Sorry. Just back to what you said about not having the ability to pay attention to one thing. What I'm seeing is that younger generations, but it's probably the same with us as well. We're just taking it differently. That they have so much impulse coming in at the same time that they cannot, like you said, they cannot focus long enough, and then they are just switching. Like if you go in Instagram or Facebook or whichever platform, social platform, there are reels, you're just swapping through them, right? It's
Yeah,
not that you're paying
true.
full attention or you're kind of observing what's happening. It I think that's what it is, and that's why they cannot focus on one thing. We handle it. I'm guessing that our generation handle it a bit differently, because we had to learn to pay attention. But it's definitely not gonna be good for the kids when they are growing up, and this is how they are gonna live their lives, and be at a workplace, because there are gonna be meetings where there's gonna be only one topic that you need to talk about.
I
I
Yep.
agree
I
with that.
I learned that from. I mean, I noticed that on myself as well. That I'm it feels like, when you're multitasking, you're doing one thing you're focused at, and you're doing, on the side burner some other stuff that you're not really focused at. And nowadays I start to realize that I'm actually doing all the side burners, and I'm not actually focused on anything. It's like I'm in a zombie mode, you know?
You know what we are saying, Levy?
Yeah.
When you do everything, you do nothing, and it's
Yeah,
it's it's
exactly.
becoming more and more true.
and it's so easy to fall into this. You just start watching a reel, and then you just fell into this trap, and half an hour later you wake up and, oh, what am I doing? What have I done for the 30 minutes?
What have I seen?
Yeah,
Right?
but for us, we have a comparison. What, like 20 years ago, it couldn't have happened this with me, simply because there was no tool that would have served as the attention blocker, because you didn't have the full internet, YouTube, whatnot. It was all in a basic state. But kids nowadays, they don't know the difference. They don't know how does it feel. Maybe if you throw them in a forest for 2 weeks, their brain will start to adapt. But without the like breaking away physically, you have to
Hmm.
break them away from these things to make them function in the physical world.
And that's the thing, they have their mobiles, they have their tablets, they have their laptops, they have their iPod,
And
earpods,
all
they
of
have
them at
TV,
once.
and all of them at once.
Yeah.
And like in my daughter's case, she has two laptops. She's playing on one, doing her homework or whatever she needs to do, assignment for school on the other one. Yeah, AirPods in, music on. What's that? The mobile, right? And I'm like, what are you doing? Right? And yeah,
Yeah.
going back to what you said, just throwing them in the woods, trying to help, get back to normal
Yeah.
life and try to start thinking. I don't know if they would be able to do that. And it's obviously not about my daughter, but in general, I'm saying,
Yeah.
I
So
don't
I've
know, even if they go out for walking the dogs, I'm seeing people walking the dogs with their phone, huge
yeah.
headphones on,
Yeah.
or ears plugged in. And I'm like, I never take my phone with me when I go out with the dogs for a walk. It's their time, it's my time
Yeah.
to reflect and just to think, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've watched my youngest daughter do homework, have a TV show on with subtitles, and listening to music at the same time. You've got three things going on, and then you're trying
Yeah.
to study. I don't know how she does it. Somehow
Yeah,
she does, but I'm like, I can't do that. That's way too much noise.
yeah,
Yeah, so
same with
so
my daughter.
music and studies I've done, but not more than music and studies
Yeah,
back in
same.
the day. But now I
Yeah,
think
same for
it's
me.
it's crazy tough. You've got to break the code and sort of. It's almost as if even for us, we're almost in a simulation. That's what I've been thinking since the past month, since my
Yeah.
dog is sick. I'm thinking I'm just in a simulation doing A B C D and then back to A B C D. So it's difficult. It's crazy. Yeah, at least for me, it's crazy. I can't imagine for the new folks and the new kids, younger kids. Must be tough.
It'd be interesting to see how they would do or how they would handle like a productivity training course of some kind where you're learning what's the
Ooh.
difference between blue chips, white chips, how do you focus just on those two things that you should do and things that you should ignore. I wonder how they do in that kind of training.
Yeah, I mean I can only talk about the new freshers when we hired in the current organization. Most of them just said that no, I can't do that. I'm gonna just let go of this job and go to the second job, then to the third job, and I don't know. It's again, it's attention. It's
Yeah.
difficult for kids to sort of have a focus around one thing, which is why it's translating it into their professional lives as well. Not generally, but yes, there are people who are doing fabulous work, entrepreneurship, and
Hmm.
lots of stuff in their lives. But yeah, there are obviously a percentage of them who are probably could do better.
So I'm sensing there are four very mature minds. There's not much room for new input.
Our cups
We,
are full.
we're good. We don't need anything else. No,
At the
it's
same time, just
Oh,
think about it. This is how they grow up, so this is going to be the
yeah.
standard for them. I don't know if we could be, we would be able to tell that it's a good thing or a bad thing. but probably that's going to be the standard moving forward, and we're going to be the ones falling behind because we cannot do
Yeah.
what they can do.
And that's a great point. And what is the measure of good things, bad things? Has it
Yeah.
changed? Is it the
Yeah.
same?
But what do they know that we cannot do? Like, like every next technology, whoever grew up with that, on their hands, when they were a child and through adolescence,
Yeah.
how that was some new skill or some productivity enhancer. What do they know now that
Well,
we don't? Like
It,
canceling a coffee shop on the corner in 2 weeks. Like, what is the new skill other
you
than
need you
some
need to
social
wait till they
engineering?
get where we are at age, but by then
The
we're going
world
to be
would be
too old.
different.
Yeah, but
We are going to be too old.
millennials are here already, and that's their skill
so you guys are
at the
touching on
moment.
something I thought I observed, and that, whether I was right or not in the observation, I'm not sure. But we had a huge dependency on the cloud native team members. They were expected to know everything. Everything cloud, they had to know everything. They could do everything.
Yep.
But when you dug into it, they couldn't solve a problem. They couldn't do anything. It was the
Oh yeah.
it was the staff that came off of the legacy technologies, a Windows Server admin, a Linux admin, a database administrator, those with the background in a core skill set not called cloud outperformed the quote cloud native youth, young workers coming out of college with just that book knowledge of cloud. They've never fixed anything, and I don't think they ever will. So it's certainly something, a disservice to the younger generations to not have them do something hands-on meaningful. How does it affect productivity long term?
I think the technology enhanced so much in the meantime that the educational background didn't measure up with it.
Doesn't match.
So yeah, because we still focused a lot about the static knowledge. Let's put it this way, like you should learn all these, I don't know, equations and whatnot, and integrate and differentiate and stuff like that. Why? Why?
Hmm.
That you don't really need that. You never will. It's like in the university I was attending to back in 2010s, 15, I don't know. But it was like, why should I learn how to write code to sort? And like, how many sorting
Hmm.
variations are. But the efficiency is pretty much, there's just three different sorting methods that you can use. Otherwise, you're just wasting resources. So what for I should learn 30 different sorting algorithms? There's no
Yeah.
point. But I had to learn it, and I
Yeah. No,
failed.
that's a good
But
point. But here's a comparison though. If I had a cloud native employee provide me the scripts that they were going to run for automation,
Oh.
I would expect to see meaningful scripts. I would get 2 lines. One of those lines was just checking to see if the host was responding. It's like,
I
that's a
remember that.
script? That's a script? We're going to do this massive migration, and the script you're giving me is 2, maybe 3 lines of nothing? It was phenomenal. That's not automation. That's just somebody's health check. So,
yeah,
there's a gap when you ask, like I said, you ask somebody who's just cloud native to do a task, and then you ask somebody who was a Windows admin for the last 10 years to do the same task. The outcome is totally different. What they provided, the
But
Agreed.
output
it's
they provided was totally different.
it's the vision as well. Remember, we talked about it so many
Yep.
times, and how they understand what you're trying to achieve. Because if they didn't have any kind of experience before, you're telling them what you want, and they are not going to think it through. It's just, I'm going to deliver what I was asked,
Right.
write the script. But then they are not going to think about it, how the outcome should look like, and blah 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 blah, or how it can be improved. Right? It goes back to when we had to do, what was that, RPA for that company?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Remember? Let's do your job with RPA. Like, yeah, sure, thank you, but we shouldn't even be doing it the way we are doing it. So why do
Hey,
you want to do it
shout out to
automatic?
Fernando. Fernando made it work. He put it to use. Not the same use case that was being pushed, but he made it work. Something else.
He made it work because he had the vision and he knew what he wanted
Yeah,
to get out of it, and he had the technical knowledge to make it
exactly.
happen,
Exactly.
right? So, anyways, it's always funny.
It is funny. Great discussion, guys. Anything you guys want to end on? Abheek, we hope
Well, I
we hope
think,
Bosco gets better quickly. I don't know
yeah,
about Levy. Levy, do you have a dog?
No,
You need to get a
I am
dog,
one.
Levy.
He is very scary enough himself.
So you're the only non-dog owner on the call.
That's true.
Um,
That's true. I have a duck
I
in the
have a
oven.
duck.
It's in the oven at the moment.
Come on.
I should have saw that one coming, man. That's awesome. Anyway, sorry, Big, you didn't get to finish your thought.
no, I was just going to say that the positioning of some of the roles in certain organizations is just so different, and it's so different in terms of that. Okay, a specific role is, the best, and the others are just of no use. But in reality, the fundamental skills still have a lot of value, and if somebody has those fundamental skills, then with the intention of learning, I think they can go a long way. But yeah, certain companies we see that, oh, cloud, oh my god, they're just like this and that. But yeah, my two
Yeah,
cents.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
true. Mentality worth much more than the actual degree that you accumulated. I mean,
Yeah, it goes back to the certification topic we were talking about so many times in the past years,
yeah,
right?
true,
Only
true.
because you have certification, it doesn't mean that you're going to know what you're doing. And we've seen it so many
Yeah.
times. Oh, hire that person. He has those 10 certificates. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah? What can he do with that?
it's the same with the
Yeah.
diploma. I mean, in IT especially,
Oh,
if you think about it, the year you started learning something, and then by the time you got your degree, the first year, knowledge is, it's already outdated. Nobody uses it anymore. That was, they say that that's going to be the future, and nobody knows what's that anymore. It's like,
Yeah.
you
but
know,
you have the degree now.
y- yeah, that's true. That's true. It looks good on LinkedIn, I guess.
And that's it. That's all about it, right? Again, when we were looking through the resumes, CVs, and we needed to pick someone, right? Someone up there always said that, hey, we need to increase the number of certificates in the organization. Let's hire that person. No, I'm not going to hire that person because that person doesn't have the right attitude or cannot do the communication piece or whatever
Yeah.
behavior, whatever it is, right? I'm going to go for the other one who has only 2 certificates or 0, but I know that he wants to do the job and will be able to fit in the team.
Yeah.
But that's you. I heard
That's me.
somewhere that LinkedIn for HR people is like astrology for women.
That's too funny.
Okay. Well, on that note, great discussion,
Oh my
guys.
God, cut that one. I don't want to be cancelled.
Guess we will reconvene at a next recording. Thanks for taking the time and thanks for meeting early today.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks.